Almost everyone in the world has heard this proverb. Politicians have quoted it. Authors have named books after it. Presidents have used it in speeches. It has been on mugs, posters, and school walls across every continent. And almost none of them know what it actually means. Because it takes a village to raise a child is not a sweet sentiment about neighbors being friendly. It is not a casual observation about community being nice. It is a complete philosophy of human development, forged across thousands of years of African civilization, that describes the only known model for raising human beings that consistently produces wisdom, character, resilience, and belonging in the people it raises. Today we go back to the source. Today we find out what Africa actually meant and what the world lost when it forgot to listen. Welcome to Great African Wisdom, where we honor the teachings of our ancestors and show you how to live them in your real life today. If this is your first time here, subscribe and turn on notifications. New wisdom drops every week. The full meaning, the proverb, "It takes a village to raise a child," exists in some form across almost every African culture and language. But every version carries the same essential truth, that a child is not the product of two parents. A child is the product of an entire community's investment, the community's values, the community's stories, the community's standards, the community's correction, guidance, love, and expectation, and critically, the community's willingness to be involved, to notice, to speak, to discipline when needed, and celebrate when earned. To treat every child in the village as their own responsibility, not their own child, but their own responsibility. This is not a metaphor. In traditional African communities, this was a daily, concrete, operational reality. The village was not a poetic concept. The village was a child-raising machine, and it was extraordinarily good at its job. How the village model worked. In the traditional African village, a child did not grow up in a household. They grew up in a community. From the moment of birth, they were surrounded by an extended network of adults, grandparents, aunts, uncles, older cousins, neighbors, elders, each one playing a specific role in that child's formation. The grandparents were the first teachers, not of academic subjects, but of the community's deepest wisdom, its stories, its proverbs, its understanding of where the people came from and what they stood for. A child who grew up hearing their grandmother's voice every evening grew up anchored in identity. The aunts and uncles provided a different kind of love, more playful, less burdened with the authority of the parent. They were the ones the child could speak to when the parent relationship felt too formal. They bridged the world of childhood and adulthood in a way that parents alone cannot. The elders of the community held the moral authority. When a child acted wrongly, any elder could correct them, not just that child's parents. Any adult in the village who witnessed wrongdoing had both the right and the responsibility to respond. And the child understood this. There was no hiding behind the invisible wall of the nuclear family. The whole village was watching, and the whole village cared. Think about what this means for the child. They do not just have two parents holding them to a standard. They have an entire community. Every adult they encounter is a potential mirror reflecting back who they are supposed to be. The village does not raise a child with two hands. It raises a child with 100. What the village teaches that parents cannot. Here is what the African village understood that the modern nuclear family model struggles to replicate. That there are things a child needs to learn, that parents are uniquely unsuited to teach. Parents love their children too much to be fully objective, too much to allow all the necessary failures, too much to sometimes deliver the hard truths that an elder with nothing to lose can deliver without the fear of breaking the relationship. The village provided what developmental psychologists now call non-parental significant adults. The mentor, the elder, the community figure who sees the child differently from the parent and can shape them in ways the parent cannot access. In Africa's village model, a child watched men at work and learned what work looked like. They watched elders resolve disputes and learned how disagreement was handled with dignity. They watched women organize community resources and learned how leadership actually functions. They watched the old and the sick cared for and learned that care was not optional, that it was the air the community breathed. The village was not just providing childcare, it was providing a complete education in how to be human visible, lived daily undeniable. And perhaps most importantly, the village child learned belonging, not by being told they belonged, by experiencing it every day in the faces of dozens of adults who knew their name, who had watched them grow, who held them accountable because they genuinely cared what they became. When the village disappears, now let us look at what happens when the village disappears, because it has disappeared in many parts of the world and in many African communities too. And the consequences are visible everywhere if you know what to look for. When the nuclear family replaces the village, 2 adults carry what 100 hands were designed to carry. The parents become exhausted, isolated, and overwhelmed. The child loses the diversity of adult influence that the village provided. The grandparents' wisdom is separated by distance or time. The neighbors become strangers. The elders become irrelevant. And the child grows up in a much smaller world, a world where their identity is shaped by 2 exhausted parents and a screen, where correction comes only from 2 people who love them too much to always be honest, where belonging is never guaranteed. It must be earned and performed rather than simply lived in. The mental health crisis affecting young people across the world today is not a mystery. It is the predictable outcome of raising generations of children without the village. Children who never learned belonging because the village that would have given it to them was dismantled. Children who never learned how to be human by watching a community of humans, because the community was replaced by individual households, each surviving on their own. Rebuilding the village. So how do we rebuild the village? Not by returning to a romanticized past that no longer exists in its original form, but by taking the principles of the African village model and applying them with intention in the world we actually live in today. Here is how. First, name your village. Look at the adults in your extended circle and deliberately assign roles. Who is the elder figure in your child's life? The person with wisdom and moral authority they can learn from? Who is the auntie or uncle figure, the playful, accessible adult who bridges child and grown-up world? Who is the mentor in the skill or character area your child needs? The village does not form by accident. In the modern world, it must be built on purpose. Second, Give other people's children permission to be part of your village. Invest in the children around you. Know their names. Notice them. Speak to them. Correct them when it is needed, and praise them when it is earned. The African village did not love only its biological children. It loved the children, all of them. Every adult in the village held every child as a shared responsibility. In your neighborhood, your church, your workplace community, who are the children you are choosing to see? Third, let the village in. The nuclear family's greatest enemy is pride, the refusal to let others participate in the raising of your children. The belief that asking for help is weakness. That correction from outside the home is interference. Africa's wisdom says the opposite. The more people who love your child and hold your child to a standard, the more likely your child is to become who they were born to be. Your children do not need you to carry them alone. They need you to build the village around them. Africa gave the world a proverb that the world quotes without understanding. But today you understand it. It takes a village to raise a child does not mean it is nice to have community. It means a child cannot become fully human without it. It means the village is not optional equipment. It is essential infrastructure. It means every adult in a community carries a share of responsibility for every child that community produces. This is not a burden. It is the most life-giving truth there is, because it means you are not alone in raising your children, and the children around you are not alone in being raised. The village exists wherever people choose to build it, and today you have been given the blueprint. African wisdom, ancient, communal, yours to build. Before you go, tell me in the comments, who was your village growing up? The neighbor who corrected you, the auntie who believed in you, the elder who saw something in you before you saw it in yourself. Tell us their story. Let us celebrate the villages that raised us. Share this video with every parent, every community member, everyone who is raising children or who was raised by more than 2 people. Subscribe to Great African Wisdom, and I will see you in the next one.